Hi, Chiara. How are you? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. Everything is good.
Nice.
Great.
So, you want us to start? How was it that you changed your mind when you were studying uh, law, and how did you decided to change it to end with that and start your own thing in fashion?
I mean, I didn't make a decision right away because I was like studying international law and I did like 5 years of that. So it was like I only had like a few exams left to give. So I was really pretty sure that I wanted to be an international lawyer. And fashion has always been my obsession. But I've always thought it was like just like a hobby more, or something that I loved watching and like enjoying, and I loved like dressing up and stuff. But I never thought it would have been my business, because I didn't decide to go to law school and I didn't do anything like concerning fashion. But I loved it all the time. And then, I started publishing my looks like since I was like 17, like different websites. And then I started my own blog when I was 22. And it was just like, I don't know, it was just like destiny. And I just started at the right time, and people started wanting to work with me, especially in the fashion industry. And I got the first invitation to the shows, and then I started being organized and like building a team around me. So that's how I started. And I haven't really decided. I mean, at the beginning, I was thinking I would have done both, but then, of course, I was loving so much what I was doing that I would never think of just like working as an international. I mean, right now, I just love what I'm doing so much more than just working as a lawyer.
And what were your fears when you launched the blonde salad, and what did you tell yourself to overcome them?
I mean, I wasn't very scared. I just thought it was just like, for me, it was just a game, I didn't have high expectation for that. But since the very beginning, it was like very successful because it was like, it came exactly at the right time. And I already had a following from other website before. So I think people started following me right away. And it was like a time where brands were starting to understand what bloggers were, what they were doing. And so I got my first invitation and first proposal to work with brands right away. And I just tried to be very selective since the very beginning to only work with brands and projects that really represented me. And I think in the long term, this really worked out. And like I always try to have like a business mind. So not only accept gifts, but really just like make a business out of what I was doing step by step, of course. And now now it's really good.
Could you tell us what were the steps to get there? Because you said you have like a business mind. How did you make your blog a business?
I mean, I really, from the very beginning, I started to have a big team around me. And so I started to have like jobs for like different tasks for each one of the people working with me. And for me, it was very important that, the brands at the beginning only wanted to gift you stuff. But of course, what I was giving, it was like real value. Like I was giving real value back. So I was trying to like really make the brands understand. I love your bag, but I'm not going to leave just like getting bags for free. Like I need to have like a salary. I need to just like make money for my own business. And then I really started to just like get into that mindset that people, like if they really wanted something from me, like a specific something from me, like just, it was like a magazine. So of course they had to pay, to have advertisement on my channels. And so it worked. And so like step by step, I think most of the brands understood. And now pretty much everybody understands that. And then I also started to have like different kind of businesses. So I started my own brand and I started doing things in a different ways than what other people were doing at the time, I think. So it was like I always tried to be a step ahead of the other guy, like the other people that were doing something similar to me.
And you were, you really were.
How did you learn about the digital world, and how did you become such an expert in this?
I think I learned by doing it. Like I just loved. I'm like a kid of a digital revolution. So of course I loved like being online and just like being in different websites and going for inspiration online. And just like since I was 16, I loved taking photos to share them, to see what other people would think about me. So So for me, that was like very important. So I've always done it since I was 16. And so I think for me, like sharing my life was like super, super normal, and it felt like super natural. And that's why it was like also so successful.
And how did you, what is the difference between blogger and influencer, and how did you get being from blogger to influencer?
So I don't like to call myself influencer. Like I never did that. I mean, I used to be a blogger. I started as a blogger. Now I like to say that I'm a digital entrepreneur because I have like so many different businesses. I do consulting. I do so many, like I'm like an entrepreneur, especially on the like digital side, you know. So we made this like word like digital entrepreneur, which is like gives you like more of the idea of exactly what I do, even if it's hard to explain. And I think a blogger, I was at the very beginning when I had a blog, and that was like my main channel. But then like things change, and like social media become your biggest channel. Like some people do YouTube, some people do TikToks, some people do Instagram, some people do all of them. So for me, it started from blog to social media to a lot of other like media as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we said blog influencer because you really influence people to do what you do. You know, that's why we like.
Yeah, it's like it's not wrong. It's just that it's a little bit of everything. Like now, I don't know how it is there, but I think in Italy everybody is an influencer. Like even if you have the smallest following, but you have somebody, you influence somebody, so everybody's can be like kind of called as an influencer. You know, so it's just like. I wanted to have like a different term, you know.
Yeah, I like your term better.
Thank you.
And you have made of Chiara Ferragni a brand. How was this process of becoming yourself a brand?
I mean, it was like a natural process, I think, because I always try to think forward. And for me, like one of the things I've always wanted to do was like to have like a brand on my own. And I didn't want it to be like super crazy fashion forward kind of brand. I wanted to be contemporary and appealing to different kind of audiences, from people my age to people older than me and people younger than me as well. So really my dream was to have something that was very special, but not too crazy that people would be like, oh my God, that's like super, it's too fashionable for me, you know? So I wanted something that was like very enriched in details, but that was fun and easy to wear and comfortable as well. And then Chiara Ferragni kind of started to happen, and I like step by step we built it into a brand, and it's doing really well. And we have a lot of like fun capsule collection coming out. One is coming out this month that is going to be super nice, and then like a lot of other ones from next year. So I'm excited because it's like running a brand is like very much harder than just like doing work as like a entrepreneur. I mean, it's still an entrepreneur job, but it's just like it's a lot of work as a brand, much more difficult than doing a campaign or just like doing collaborations on Instagram. So I'm really happy that it's doing well.
How did you realize that you were the most powerful woman in fashion in the internet?
I mean, I don't know if I am. I mean, I like to think that I am, but it's just like more, I mean, it's nice when other people say you are, because I mean, you can never think of yourself in that way. Otherwise it would be crazy. But it's nice because I think like always like thinking ahead and like never being satisfied with what I was doing was the key of my success. And I think it made me just always strive for more, just like being excited of what I was doing, but always like never get satisfied and never just like feeling like, oh my God, I'm like the cool, you know, I never feel like I'm the coolest. I'm always thinking like, yeah, I mean, I worked hard, I created like something very big and powerful, but now I have to do so much more, you know, otherwise I really lost a chance. And so I think it's the right attitude to just like keep pushing and trying different things, even if they're scary sometimes, you know, like even like my documentary could have been like really like, it was such a huge success and I'm so happy, but it could have been like a huge failure, you know, and then like it would have been something that would have marked me, you know. So it's just like really about taking risk and doing things that you really believe in and that feel very natural to you, I think.
Looking backward to the Chiara 10 years ago who wanted to become this Chiara, how does it feel for you that all the brands want to work with you and including this collaboration with Liverpool Mexico?
I mean, it's very amazing, and it makes me feel very honored because, I mean, I'm very appealing to a lot of different kind of brands, from more contemporary to luxury brands, to new designers. So it's nice that like people recognize like my power and the job that I do, and like they love what I do, and they love my point of view, my tone of voice, and like what I stand for, my values at least. So it's really nice.
And what would you say to other people, the ones that want to have be an entrepreneur in digital entrepreneur? What would you say the steps are? What steps are the way, or you think is the way?
I mean, everybody's path is different, I think. So it's not about like just like really you can take inspiration from others, but then super important for me is to find your own tone of voice, find your specific audience that really loves to follow you and is interested, really interested in what you do. Being authentic, really being selective on the brands you want to work with, because like they represent you and you represent those brands. So of course, they have to be brands that you have a feeling with. And then just like really just having more of a business mind. So really understand your value and just like talk business to brands. You know, just like don't just act as an influencer that just wants to be invited and just gets free stuff, but just like make it a business because you have a value.
And I have another question regarding this answer that you gave me. What is the difference between when you started and right now? Because when you were like you were new to everyone, you know, and right now there's a lot of blogs, there's a lot of influencers or bloggers or digital figures.
Yeah.
What is the complication right now to make it in this business?
So I think at the beginning I was way more scared because I didn't know if it was if what I was doing was gonna last or not. So I was like very insecure about the part because I wanted to create a credibility for myself and a name for myself, but I didn't know if that was even possible. So I tried really hard. Now I'm just like more chill in everything I do because I know my value. I know that I make mistakes like everybody else, and I'm not anything from perfect, but I know that I try to do my best all the time, that I work hard, that I represent like a lot of good things, and I have like good values, and people hopefully can be inspired by what I do and my path and everything. So now I'm more confident, you know. So it's like even like the brands that I work with is just they really have to have the right feeling for me. Otherwise, I'm selective and I'm able to say no. And like, I mean, at the beginning, I was also selective, but it was harder because of course, sometimes I would think that I miss like the chance of a lifetime, you know, and it was actually really smart of me to just like say a lot of no's even at the beginning. But now it's just easier because now you know right away if it's something, if a project is good for you or not, you know, it's just like, you know, and while before you were like, I don't know, maybe, you know, it's just about like self-confidence, but you have to build it like everything else, you know, it just doesn't happen right away.
Regarding success, everybody sees the top of the iceberg, but they can't imagine the hard work that is behind. How is like a day or a week in your life? How heavy it is?
I mean, it depends on the day. Some days are super heavy and some days are like fine. So for me, it's good because I'm my own boss. So, I mean, we set up now that I don't travel as much, obviously. Before it was a lot of travel as well, and a lot of set days abroad. Now, like all the set days are in Milano, which is like super much easier for me because then I can go home to my baby and my husband and my family. So it's nicer. That part is much nicer. But of course, like, I mean, there is a lot of hard work, not only mine, but my own team. I have a team of like 15 people. So, and plus other 10 or more for the brand. So it's like 30 people of like young minds that help me for everything from like really organizing my agenda and organizing all the photo shoots, campaign, interviews, and the Instagram that I have to take, the things that I have to promote, it's a lot of like different things. But I have I love managing my time. So I always try today was all about working. I've been now it's almost 7 p.m. here, and I've been at the office since 10 a.m. Just doing photo shoots and interviews and stuff. So today's been a long day, for example. But tomorrow, for example, I'm only working in the afternoon, and I'm taking the morning off to be with my baby and stuff. So it's a lot of work, but I feel blessed because I love what I do, and I get to decide sometimes when I need time off and stuff. And I think for other working moms, must be way harder than me, because maybe they work as hard as I do, but they don't get the word. They don't always feel loved like I do. Most of the things I do, I just I put it out there, and people are just so supportive, and so you just feel good, you got that good energy back. But normal women that probably work as much as I do, but then they're just probably their boss is not very nice to them, and it's hard for them to take a morning off. So I'm in a very privileged situation, I have to say.
Good.
I have to confess that your stories at home gave me life during the quarantine. Was this a good pause for you? It was a break that you needed?
I did at the time. I didn't feel like I needed it. And now I think I hope to not repeat it because of a lockdown. But it was nice to learn that really I don't need to just doing crazy experiences all the time to be happy. Of course, having a fulfilled working life makes me also happy. But my real happiness is just feeling safe with my family and knowing my family members and friends are all safe. Health is the ultimate luxury to me, especially now. So I think even if it was hard and everybody was so unsure of the future, and all the businesses, including mine, but at least we were feeling safe, and we were doing day by day. So I didn't really needed that, or maybe yes, maybe I needed that. I don't know. It just felt right and I love to see that my followers weren't bored of just seeing my more natural side of me and just me staying home, but they actually liked it, because it just made me think, okay, so maybe they're not just interested in all the amazing experiences I do and being on set and going to photo shoots and going to shows. They're also interested in just me and my family. So, and they really love me, in this way. So it felt really good.